All right, now they're saying that the Lakers have the worst number one seed in NBA history as far as their path to the NBA Finals. We also going to talk about the All Bubble team. Congratulations to Damian Lillard. He was named the NBA Bubble MVP, not the league MVP or the coaches MVP, the Bubble MVP. So we'll talk about first team and second team All Bubble. Anthony Davis and LeBron James did not make it, but let's talk about the Lakers situation first. Hit that subscribe button, bell icon button, share the video, and now the media is going to spin the narrative for LeBron. Either way, it's going to be an excuse or it's going to be a way to prop LeBron up. If they win, they had the toughest road for a number one seed in history. They're going to try to say this is his greatest, finals win ever in the bubble, and then also his other finals win. Oh, he came back 3-1, and they forget that they suspended Draymond Green, and that was some whole shit. And that stopped the whole momentum of Golden State. But, they're going to try to say, oh, his 4 rings is just as good as Mike's 6 rings, and they just as good as Bill's 11 rings, and, they just as good as Kobe's 5 rings. And that's how they want to spin the narrative. If he go down, through this playoff run, they're going to say, well, they didn't have home court advantage, and the stoppage, it hurt LeBron James' ability to tap into his fast twitch muscles and find his rhythm, and, and their path was so tough, no home court advantage. So their path is Portland, then the winner between Houston and Oklahoma City. We know Russell Westbrook is out with a quad injury for at least 3 games, and those things can be tricky. Not as tricky as a hamstring, but they can be tricky. First few games, and then they will have to play the Clippers in the Western Conference Finals, and everybody just prophesizing that the Bucks gonna make it, and I just don't see it in Milwaukee. It's something they missing in Milwaukee. He missing a real sidekick, man. So, to talk about their path. I mean, at the end of the day, this is the LeBron James Invitational. If LeBron was injured or he wasn't in the playoffs, they wouldn't have did the NBA restart, in my opinion. Is this path tough to the finals? I mean, and it's supposed to be tough. That makes for a better story. I mean, the Clippers' path ain't no fucking cakewalk. They playing Luka and Kristaps Porzingis in the first round. And then they got to play, I think, the winner between the Jazz and Denver. You know what I'm saying? It's Denver is a better team than Houston or Oklahoma City. They've been proving that already, and they ain't even been healthy the whole bubble. Nikola Jokic, they just got Jamal Murray back. Will Barton just came back. No Gary Harris. Michael Porter Jr. has discovered himself. Denver got the deepest, most talented roster, and they got experience. You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't sleep on Denver bouncing the Clippers out. Especially the Clippers soft in the middle, but then Jokic got to be more assertive in the post, and he got to look to score a lot more. But Denver coming, and people still laughing when I said Denver is a dark horse. They don't understand NBA basketball. Michael Porter Jr. is probably going to be their number one scoring option in the next few years if he can remain to be healthy. One thing I don't like about Denver, I don't like Jamal Murray that much. If they were smart, they get him the fuck up out of there as soon as they can. You know what I'm saying? He's just too hot, and he just don't fit what they do. They need somebody over there. There's people gonna laugh, but they need somebody over there that's a pure point like Lonzo. With all that ability to score, they don't need Jamal Murray to be able to score the basketball like that. They need a pure point. Chris Paul, if they can make a deal for Chris Paul to get him there, that can get Denver over the hump. And then Chris Paul go through his highs and lows to get injured. You can deal with it because you got so much talent over there. You can have Jokic run the point. You can have Bola run the point. You can have Gary run the point. You can have Michael Porter run the point. So they got a lot of talent in Denver. Ain't no cakewalk for the Clippers. You know what I'm saying? If they sleepwalk, they going to get popped. Now, if Utah beat Denver, then yeah, that changes the trajectory of things. That will be an easy situation. The injuries can happen, and injuries can happen at any given time. And then you get to the Western Conference Finals, it was going to be tough anyway if you see the Clippers for the Lakers. So, I mean, to be honest, what if Westbrook don't bounce back 100%? Then you're looking at really one tough series with Portland. And it may not be tough because Portland, if Carmelo don't step up, which I expect Carmelo to step up because that's all he's ever done on big stages when he got there, especially with in Syracuse. If Carmelo matched LeBron energy or LeBron truly getting old, I think LeBron James is just coasting. You know what I'm saying? I think he's going to show up when he need to show up and find that energy. He had a few days rest now, so I expect to see the best LeBron James Tuesday. But if Melo can kind of counteract LeBron, he can kind of bring that balance to LeBron, not necessarily scoring, but make him work on the defensive end, or if LeBron guarding him more, make kind of slow him down just a bit defensively, and he able to get buckets defensively. Melo able to be that option that Portland need. Then Portland does have fantastic matchups in the backcourt, and they got bodies for Zach Collins, Nurkic and Hassan White. So they got bodies for Anthony Davis, but the one guy they don't have a quick answer for behind Carmelo defensively is LeBron. And that's been their problem. Kevin Durant went to Portland, they would probably win the finals. Easy. You know what I'm saying? That wing guy, if Melo, can just, if he could just counter LeBron just enough, he can hold him down just enough, they'll win that series. That's the key. And neither one of the teams got a lot of depth. So then you're looking at Gary Trent coming off the bench. You know what I'm saying? He going to need to step up. You're going to need Whiteside to step up off the bench. So they don't really go deep into their bench as far as like that Melo position. You know what I'm saying? They need that. They need somebody else to come off that bench, that Melo position, and defend. There ain't been no defense in the bubble, and then Anthony Davis might be the difference defensively. But one thing about it, Damian Lillard, he gonna shoot that ball from 50 feet, and McCollum don't need to get in the paint to be effective. He a mid-range assassin when he want to, and pretty much it's gonna be interesting series. Portland really does match up well, and I think the difference is Nurkic. Had they had Nurkic the whole season, maybe they never would have traded for Whiteside, and that gives them a depth too. They can match up with JaVale McGee, Dwight Howard. Had they never got rid of Nurkic, had they Nurkic the whole season, this team probably would have been 4th, 5th, 6th seed at the worst, maybe even 7. But ain't no spilled milk for Los Angeles. You know what I'm saying? In my opinion, you the number 1 seed. It's 7 games. It's not 5. Back in the day, it was 5 in the first round, and they did that because I think the 8th seed Nuggets beat Gary Payton and the Sonics. But I ain't no spilled milk, man. Make for a great story, If LeBron go through the toughest road for 1 seed to the championship, so be it. If he lose, then, at the end of the day, they're going to use the excuse that it was tough and the restart was tough on his body, and that's a valid excuse. It's hard when you get older to wake them fast twitch muscles up. It's like when I said this before, it's like when you put one of your cars up for the wintertime or for the summer, and you start it back up, but you got to kind of change the oil and the fluids and drain everything and flush it to get it to start back up where it don't want to really start. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of like LeBron. So hopefully, LeBron, he able to hit that slice switch on now that he done had, some games. He broke some sweats. I don't really think you've seen the best Brian yet. I think kind of he holding back. Tuesday, I look for LeBron to be a problem. If LeBron don't ramp it up Tuesday and he missing dunks and layups and he ain't explosive and he's slowing down and Melo come to play and Melo got that gangster in his eyes, they gonna be in trouble. Game 1 gonna let you know everything. If LeBron able to take over and dominate, it's over with. They ain't gonna have no chance because Melo getting foul trouble. They don't have another matchup for LeBron. Thing for LA is they don't have a matchup for the backcourt. So it's going to be LeBron, the Laker bench, and, Anthony Davis is going to be down there fighting big fellas all day. Nurkic, Whiteside, Collins, Melo, you know what I'm saying? So it's really LeBron and the Laker bench that's going to be the problem. If the Lakers can get out there and they can defend with Danny Green and Kentavious Caldwell-Pope, they not only have to defend that backcourt, they have to get buckets too. They got to make them dudes work. And they don't have a guard that can make them work. Unless they get switches on Lillard, LeBron, or LeBron, McCollum, they don't have nothing. Even if they have Rajon Rondo, they have nothing in that backcourt that make them work on the defensive end and on the defensive end. So it's gonna be a problem. Caldwell Pope, Danny Green, Caruso, those guys gonna have to find a way to take Lillard and McCollum and score. And they're not a really good defensive backcourt in the bubble. Nobody really has been. So they're gonna be key. Anthony Davis, anything he give you as far as defensively and as far as offensively is going to be a bonus because he's going to be down there fighting those Giants. So, that is what it is, man. So, I think it's one of the best series, but the whole Western Conference is cracked, man. I want to see every series Houston got more interested with Westbrook falling out because Chris Paul gonna try to take Harden head off. But we'll talk about that later in my live stream. But NBA first team all bubble, with a second team all bubble, was Michael Porter Jr., Karis LeVert, Luka Doncic, Kawhi Leonard, Giannis Antetokounmpo. The first team, y'all know, was Damian Lillard, who was the MVP. I think it was Devin Booker, James Harden, T.J. Warren, and it was one more guy. Booker, Lillard, Harden, Warren, and it was one more guy. I think Kristaps Porzingis was also, he was in there somewhere as well too. Yeah, my bad. Switch Luka and Kristaps. That's what it was. Kristaps was second team. Luka was first team. So I put it on the screen. So I had no issue with it. Luka could have made an argument for MVP. Booker, obviously they didn't get into the eighth seed, the play-in game. But fantastic by all of them. Warren went off, and the bubble been good to a lot of different players, man. If you coming up for a contract, for those guys, the bubble been good. No Anthony Davis, no LeBron. Davis had some big games, and then he had some games that he didn't play so big in. So, I mean, that's going to be another thing about the Lakers. Davis got to show up and be consistent in these playoffs. And his matchup is so good. And if they get past this round, his matchup is so good the next two rounds. I mean, Houston, if Houston beat Oklahoma City, they have no answer for Anthony Davis. He should go out there and legitimately average 14, 20 and like 10 blocks, real shit. And then the Clippers don't have an answer for him. They get Trez back, but, really they have no answer for Anthony Davis. So his matchup, the first round, if they get by the first round, the next two rounds, Anthony Davis is probably going to show why he the MVP of the Lakers right now. But he didn't make it. LeBron didn't make it. It didn't really shock me. LeBron really wasn't playing his best. I don't think LeBron was trying to play his best. I think he was trying to tread water a little bit, but they said he got a sore groin again, and that sounds like that might be the injury that take him out of his game. You feel what I'm saying? So, me personally, man, I like the all bubble team. Anybody else could have made a run for it. I know Karis LeVert missed some games, but I like the team. I like the teams as they constructed. You could have put Anthony Davis in there instead of Karis LeVert or Michael Porter Jr., but Michael Porter Jr. is putting up numbers that Anthony Davis didn't put up. And, Damian Lillard deserved to be the MVP. I mean, Luka could have been MVP and nobody would have been mad. Booker could have been MVP and nobody would have been mad. I mean, you could make a case for T.J. Warren being the MVP and I could have been mad. But it was phenomenal. It was a phenomenal bubble. And all 10 of those guys made the bubble phenomenal. Now they need to step up the defense, and I think in the playoffs it will be stepped up, because usually playoff basketball is a half court game, and that's pretty much where LeBron James is able to just dissect people. He didn't master the half court game as far as what he need to do and how he facilitate the ball. Now James Harden is the guy who's gonna struggle in half court because they go 1-on-5 and spread the four out across the floor. When they don't have any action, him coming on screens and freeing them up. Mike D'Antoni, whatever the coach name of Houston, he one of the worst basketball coaches I've ever seen and making adjustments. But usually half-court basketball come into play, but the bubble might be the exception. They might keep getting up and down the floor. Maybe defense is going to be the last thing to come into play. You might look at in the Western Conference Finals, in the finals, to see defense. But like I said before, if defense started to become a factor, it's going to be Anthony Davis, Paul George, Kawhi Leonard, guys like that that's going to change the game. But, the bubble been good. I've been glad they started the NBA back up because we needed this, man, to be honest. Baseball ain't hacking it, all right? I ain't even been watching. I've been wanting to watch it, but I haven't been watching it. But the NBA been fire. They just need to turn up the defense, a lot of more notches, 10 more notches. And I think you expect to see that by the second round of the playoffs. But hey, let me know what you guys think. I definitely enjoyed the 8 play-in games, the scrimmages as well, the 8 remake games, and don't forget the MVP and the yearly award of votes. It stopped before the bubble played, so they voted before the bubble. So everything that happened, when the NBA season stopped in March on back, is what's going to count for MVP, Defensive Player of the Year, Rookie of the Year award, the whole 9. So let me know what you guys think. Don't forget me on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can reach out if you have a business question, inquiry, sponsorship, video request. Keep sharing the videos. All my social media links in the description. Twitter is the fastest way. Then IG, then Facebook. Want to make a donation? Cash App, PayPal description. Facebook group there if you want to join that as well. Link in the description. Let me know what you guys think about the Laker road and what you think about the All NBA bubble team and Dame Dollar being the MVP. We go.